All right, what's up, everybody? This is Chris here. I'm live. I don't usually go live, but I'm gonna make this video right now. Talk some little topics and talk some stuff that happened this week. Just want to break some stuff down and try to get stuff on my chest. Today is Saturday, the 8th. It's a little cool out here, and that's why I'm outside. It's a little cooler. The 8th of July. It's currently almost past 10 o'clock right now, like 10:15ish. Gotta head get some food. But what I'm gonna talk about right now, is a few things that happened this week, and my takes on it. Now, it's more about politics. This is usually I don't go live, but I won't go live. Just want to get this over it and just put it on, just paste it on here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the whole Justin Brannan scam situation. Now, I don't really mess with Brannan anymore because of his takes, his handling of the budget and the handling of the migrant crisis. Now, I have to be real careful what I say on Facebook because Facebook, people might want to flag it. I know people want to try to take my account down. They want to flag it because they say I'm racist or whatever it is. And they'll say, well, we're promoting racism, so we got to delete your video and put my account on warning. So I got to be careful what I say about the migrants on Facebook. So, and on Instagram, put it on Instagram too when I'm done and paste it again and put it on Instagram. All right, so going forward, the thing about the migrant situation is it's all about votes. And what happened with Justin Brannan is the reason he's allowing this to happen is because of the votes. It's because these guys bring in the votes. And I'm not talking about the migrants themselves. I'm talking about the organizations like the NYIC and Make the Road New York and Locamella, including the Worker Justice Project, and a lot of these organizations that base themselves on immigration-related advocacy, especially the Envision Freedom Fund, which I found out that's on the heart of Brooklyn Heights, the heart of the League of Arrested Neighborhoods. So that's all it's about. And this is why a lot of people complain about the budget, is because of the migrant situation. Millions of dollars is getting pumped into the immigrant-based nonprofits, while at the same time, these organizations only have to report 10% of the money. They only held accountable for 10% of the money because IRS rules. And what all the organization does is just get people elected and reelected. That's a fact. Now, going forward to Justin Brannan this week, he got caught into a little controversy because one of his staffers now, technically she's not a staffer of him, she's a staffer of the Speaker's office, Ember Olam. She's on Twitter as Ember Neek. I met her a few times. I mean, I'm not trying to be people like, well, like, no. I met her a few times. I think she's a good person, but she's just got caught in recent controversy because of her past tweets from 2020 during the pandemic about burning cop cars and social media content that, could be deemed as controversial. Now, this is my take about that, right? Now, Brannan doesn't have the control of firing this girl. He got her a job within his office, and then she transferred over to the Speaker's office. Now, that's the Speaker's job to fire her. Now, majority of this time, the Speaker I don't think the Speaker will fire her because of the fact that this girl probably has so much shit on Brannan and the Speaker, they don't want to risk it. Unless they willing to tell her, like, well, we have to get you out of here, and we'll give you a nice job within the nonprofit sector. If that'll be the route, then they have to go that route. But other than that, if they can't go that route, most of the time they won't let her go because of just not worth the risk. That's the thing about what's going on with that. Now, moving forward with McGinnis, right? McGinnis, the controversy with McGinnis, Transalt want to change the design of the street design of McGinnis Avenue. That's in Greenpoint. That stretch from Greenpoint all the way to Long Island City. You can take the bridge to Long Island City. That's McGinnis. And the mayor gave the finger because of the community backlash and the donors, which is the Argentinos, who operates Broadway Stages. And Broadway Stages is a big contributor to the Brooklyn Democratic Party, the mayor, he's run for borough president. He's run as borough president to become mayor and the county chair. Now, you know, I keep 100% about that McGinnis situation. You know, once they decided to get at the county chair, it was DOA. Their idea was DOA. They should have navigated this dilemma, their cause, without creating enemies that they should have been creating enemies of, right? As much as, you know, they might not have liked Rodney Michelle Herman's take about Rick McGinnis because she was trying to protect their donors, you know, and the people that donate to her campaign and the county committee and the mayor's campaign committee. You know, you got to pick your battles. Like there's certain times, like me, I get upset at certain things about what certain politicians say. But I think about like, all right, this motherfucker might retaliate against me. This girl might retaliate against me, or her chief of staff might retaliate against me. So I gotta pick my battles. And I'm on a community. I've been doing this before the community board, but I have to be real careful of the fights that I pick. The fights that I pick because I'm on community board 8. I have to be real careful. I found out certain things, and you know, through certain people in the political world, and I have to be real careful of the battles that I pick because I'm on community board 8, and a lot of people watch what I do. So I gotta be real careful of the battles that I pick and the things that I do because I'm on the community board. So like with Transalt, they got real arrogant. They trick their little copy paste successful thing. Didn't work that time. Didn't work this time. They usually trick is, all right, if somebody go against them, especially elected official, they will pound them on social media, try to bully them offline, and maybe they'll cave in. Now you're dealing with a person they didn't understand because they don't listen. Like I do these guys a lot. Kathy Park Price, a lot of these guys are Transalt, and they have a problem with listening. They have a big problem of not listening. Transalt people have a big problem with not listening. They have their head so up, you know what? They don't even know the real schematics of the people they're dealing with. They're messing with. You try to tell them certain things, they don't care. Unless you with them, they don't want to hear what you got to say. Now, I would have told them, I say, look, here's the thing, right? I understand that you guys want McGinnis be redesigned for the bike lanes, right? Yeah, I see McGinnis yesterday. I might take a trip to McGinnis probably Monday or next week. I gotta probably take a trip to McGinnis and I'll do my walk through McGinnis, right? See what's going on with McGinnis. I'll take a walk through McGinnis one day of the week, right? Next week, I promise myself that I'll take a walk through McGinnis. Now, going forward with that, going real forward, as much as your advocacy, like I said, I tell them like this, as much as you guys are successful in getting people to cave in, not everybody's going to cave in. And not everybody's going to take your threats lightly. And not everybody's going to take your intimidation lightly. Now, I tell people this all the time. Like, there's certain elected officials, like, just because they got a council member on that title, or they got a state assembly member on that title, or state senator, or district leader, or congressperson, or anything, a public advocate, anything like that, doesn't mean that they're human too. Doesn't mean that they got people too. Now, you have to be real, and I tell people this, you have to be real careful when you try to do whatever you got to do to get your way. Because you can't threaten everybody. Because they got people too. And people ready to throw down and do what they want to do to people because of them. Now, you have to be real careful with that. Me, I'm real careful. Like I said, that's why I pick my battles. I pick my battles, and if I want to take a battle, I got to be real careful how I navigate that battle because I'm not a big fan of fighting, and I'm not a big fan of getting jumped. Because I love my face. So let's say about Transalt. They messed up. The mayor went against it because of his donors and the members of the community. But they got to take the L. And the thing is, they got to take the L and move on. There's other things you should fight for. That's my opinion about the McGinnis situation. They just got to take an L and move on from that. It just they had a rally yesterday, and I was like, I got there a little late, but I got there right. I got there late, but they didn't start until like 5 minutes later. So I got there right on time, just in time. I came on personal capacity. I recorded it. I made sure I'd be silent when the people didn't want to put my stuff into it, and that's it. So, from McGinnis, they're gonna have another rally on the 13th, which is stated at 6 o'clock. And I want to be real obvious, like why the hell they want to start their rally at at 6 o'clock. I mean, why they want to do their rally at 6 o'clock? They should do their rally at 12, or do their rally at 11, before stated meeting, because most likely the mayor's gonna be there. But it's kind of funny that they're doing it at 6 o'clock in the nighttime, in the evening, where everybody's probably at home or they attending other events. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Now, going forward, I'll show you this right now. So, it's a little nice out here. You can see right here. Yeah. So, like you saw, there was an e-bike. There was an e-bike, like one of the lithium-ion battery bikes by a Grubhub person. So, I want to talk about the situation right now. Right, I'm going to get some food. I want to talk about the situation right now. All right, so what's going on is about that was the e-bike stuff, right? Now, recently, not something to do with e-bikes, the fire, 4 people passed away, a few weeks ago, and I went off and I said what I had to say, and I don't care. If people don't like it, they don't like it. I just got angry. So now, recently, this week, DoorDash and Grubhub sued New York City in a joint lawsuit, and Uber sued NYC2 in a separate lawsuit related to the minimum wage. So yesterday, the judge put a temporary restraining order on the wage increase. That means because of TRO, the wages can't be happening, right? They can't get paid minimum wage. Now, people gonna say, yo, Chris, you're anti-union, you're anti-worker, you're anti-this, anti-that. Now, I will totally say, no, that's not true. You know why? Because I was a union worker. I was part of a labor union since 2017 until 2021, right? The unions know me, all the unions. I was part of 32BJ as a shop steward for the MTA Eastside Access Project. And I got photos to prove it. You can call 32BJ and ask him what he's shop steward from 2017 to 2021 in MTA Access with Adelaide University. Yes, I was. Call him right now. Call him. So going forward, the thing I have a beef with, and I love my union. I marched with them. I did a lot of things with them. I got people to office. I helped them out. I called and phone banked and knocked on doors and postered up and everything I need to do to get people elected. So you can never say I'm an anti-union. So going forward, I got to go straight because they might copyright infringe my account because of the audio. Be careful. Ocean Avenue. Hit by car. So going real forward about that, about the minimum wage, right? So recently the mayor signed a bill, put into law, to help Councilor Marjorie Lesquez, stating that because the minimum wage is going to be up like $18 an hour for the DoorDash, Uber, and Lyft to food delivery drivers. Now, it might look good on paper. And people don't understand that the reason I'm really against this because the organization that was behind the advocacy of getting the minimum wage into effect for delivery car drivers, they're real shady and they're real deceptive. And I saw this with the executive director when I went to their office and made a video about the e-bike batteries. Now, saw some flaws with them, but it did, like I said, people don't understand where I can mingle with certain people for a certain time and people will tell me certain things about them, but I won't believe it until I get to see things myself. I'm not a type of person that's going to believe what you tell. I'll keep it in mind, right? I'll keep it in mind. I'm not going to be the type of person going to get it in one ear, put it out the other ear. I keep your comments in mind. If you tell me not to trust somebody, I'll say, okay, I'll take your word, but I'm not going to really show it to them because you told me that. I have to see what they do until what they do later on, and then I make that judgment. There's certain people that people told me about, and then I say I'll take it into consideration, and then later on they did some weird stuff, and then I was like, yeah, this person's right, right? So, but when it came to them, the way they handled that situation at the headquarters, it just disgusted me. Now, but with them, what I'm talking about is Los Unistos, aka the Workers' Justice Project. Now, the Los Unistos is a organization that got hot because of the pandemic. They had a big critical bike mass ride down to City Hall and rally at City Hall in 2021. Okay, 2020, 2021. It got viral. It got real viral. So that was led by Gustavo Avicii. That's my boy. I don't hate the guy. That's my guy, Gustavo. I don't think Gustavo knows what's really going on. I think Gustavo has a great, and Antonio, both of those two have great hearts, but they did it. They don't see, and I think they're naive to what's really going on because of Ligia Galapia. Now, with that, when that happened, Ligia, who is the executive director of Worker Justice Project, merged her, or like had them merge with her. So technically she bought them out, bought out Los Unistos and made them part of the Worker Justice Project. Now, with that, this is why I say this multiple times. If I go in front of the office, I gotta get my food. I gotta go KFC. So I'm getting some KFC right now. Yeah, I'm getting KFC. So yeah. So going forward to with the whole situation, like I said before, like I said a lot of people, is I'm real careful of what I say about these organizations. I'm not trying to get sued. I'll say one thing and I'll make it one thing. I'm not gonna say, I can't go up and say the whole world because it'll be wrong for me. Real wrong for me. Hi. Excuse me. Hello. Wait a second. Let me put on mute for a second. So I got my food. I was at KFC, got my food, got some big bucket of food. So going forward, back again, like I said, sorry about that, guys. Get some food. I'm going to get my privatization to Uber. See here, go right here, DoorDash here. I think it's DoorDash. I think it's Grubhub, but it's a motorbike right there. So going forward, like I said, I have to be real careful of what I say about these organizations because I can get sued like that, especially if I know that what I'm saying is a lie. I'm not trying to get clout. I just care about certain things. So that's why, like I say, like I'm not there to really disparage them, and say certain things about what they do. But the whole, like I said, going forward, like I said, the Worker Justice Project, they are now the de facto voices for the delivery drivers. And with the minimum wage, and the thing I have beef with them, sorry about that, just how I said, was that they take money from the Ford Foundation. The Ford Foundation is a anti-union foundation, and and I'll question them, and I don't care how they take it, and I'll keep on questioning them till I stop, till I die, or until they change up. Is how are you guys so-called advocating for the worker? You're supposed to be the advocates for the worker. You talking about fair working rights, while you guys are taking money from an anti-union foundation. Now, what I believe in worker rights, right? This is my thing about worker rights, right? The thing about worker rights is I believe that women should be paid the same amount of money as men, right? Sometimes I think that women should be paid more than men. If I was an elected official, I'll make sure women get paid more than men. That's my thing. But women should get paid equal. Why women should be paid less than men? That's my thing about worker rights. Women should get paid the same amount of money as men, sometimes a little bit more because they're women, right? They have different things men can't do, right? So I believe that they should get paid more than men. That's my thing. But they should get paid equal wages too. That's my opinion. So another thing about worker rights is I think that workers should have proper benefits, equal or near equal benefits as the executive officers of these organizations and the CEO. That's what I believe. I also believe that workers should have allowances for laundry, car fare, and laundry, car fare, travel, food, and more of the things. We have allowances like per diem wages too. That's my opinion about workers' rights. And I think workers should be unionized. That's my opinion. And another thing is that workers should have proper grievances, compliance rules in place, so when they complain that there's no real retaliation against them for speaking out against unlawful practices at the job and unlawful, unfair employee treatment. That's my opinion. It's a lot of things I believe about worker rights. We should have unions, equal pay, and fair employee rights, and be able to get rid of vote out unscrupulous bosses. Now, when you're an organization that you trying to advocate, act like you say, oh, we care about fair rights, while at the same time taking money from organizations that don't believe in fair rights, it raised a lot of red flags to me. And it raised a lot of red flags. And that's the thing that I have a beef with. That's why when it happened, when they put the wages in, I went against it, because the organization that advocated for it, they are hypocrites. And then the second thing about that wage situation, and like I said, I don't think that Marjorie Valesco, the council member that runs the chair of the workers, consumer workers protection, she don't even know what's really going on with the delivery drivers. A majority of those guys and gals don't have papers. Now, that's like in the five figures. We're not talking about 500. I'm talking about like five figures, like over like 25,000 to 35 to 45,000 people that does this type of work, that deliver food, like my KFC. I get picked up myself because I won't pay no tip right this time. I'm kind of broke right now. But organizations like that, like people like that, majority of them don't have papers. Now, this is my question. If you have no papers, and Lyft and Uber and DoorDash and Grubhub and all these other applications have to pay minimum wage, and they see that, okay, 45,000 times $15 an hour times X amount of hours per week, it's going to cost them about millions of dollars a week. And they don't want to pay $1 million a week, $100,000 a week, $100,000 a day, right? For 45,000 people. And they don't want to spend that money because they can't make a real profit out of the food delivery situation. Because when that happens, the vendors, like the stores, are going to get rid of their app. They're like, we don't want to do business with them no more because they're going to lose money. So what do you think is going to happen to make sure they save money? You know what they're going to do? And I said before, in front of the office, they will put a rule into the app to every prospective driver or every current driver, and saying that if you cannot submit us papers in 24 hours or 40 hours or 72 hours, like proof that you can work, like an I-9 or a green card, anything like that, we're gonna cut your app off. We're gonna block you from working on an app. You can't do Uber, you can't do Lyft, you can't do DoorDash anymore. You can't do anything because you have no paper. You can't prove that you work here. And they gotta verify everything, right? When you do a job, right? When you work on a job, right? You gotta go through a certain process to prove that you can work, right? And I'm not talking about licensing. Even your license, there's certain time you can't work. You have to show a social security card, you have to show ID, you have to give a birth certificate. If you have if you from another country, you have to show a green card. It's a lot of things you have to prove. They have to show that you can prove that you can work in America. You can prove that you can work, right? So they can do the same thing with that. So you can't, even if they wanted to, they can't circumvent the system to try to work. And that's what people don't understand. I know this stuff. I worked a lot of jobs, and just to get a job, you have to show your ID, your social security card, your birth certificate, another form of ID. It's a lot of things you gotta do. Some places you gotta show fingerprints, right? You got fingerprints and like background check and everything like that. Now, and this is about to explain, and that's why, like, if like I said, I other things to do. I don't have time to be sitting at committee meetings and trying to. I'm not there for that, right? If I knew this was going to happen like that, I would have said like, "Yo, this should be happening because these guys don't need papers. These guys don't have the proper papers to work, and it's a rigorous process to get through the ID verification process." Now, if that happens, and Uber and all these applications are going to do that, they're going to be out of a job. And what do you think is going to happen next? What do you think they're going to be doing? Like what? Construction? Or probably committing more crime because they got to try to make some money. So that's the thing that people don't understand about the minimum wage stuff. That's why I'm really against it. You got to go out to the drawing board and put something else in to make sure that these guys have the proper and gals have the proper rights without not trying to get rid of their jobs. That's my situation with that. And the thing is, it's just what it is with politics, you know? So now going forward, you know, recently this week, you know, I cover some cure violence organization events, you know, and you know, supported somebody that I respect. I really respect, and a person. And people, I'm gonna tell you right now about people that I respect, you know, and I'll explain it right now. If I respect you, and then a person, if I respect you, I'll drop everything down and go out for you, right? Like there's certain people who don't understand, like there's certain people in this shit that I respect. And if they call me up and say, yo, Chris, yo, can you take that comment down? Can you take that photo down? Can you remove that Facebook post? I'll do it for them because I respect them. Now, those are the same people that they say, yo, Chris, can you come out and like, yo, throw down for me? I'm not trying to say fight, but, you know, say like knock on doors for them or canvas for them or do media for them or do something for them, like volunteer for them. I'll do it for them. I'll throw my shit down, my stuff down, sorry, my language. I'll throw my stuff down and I'll go out for them. I'll travel out for them because I respect them that much. Now, about this thing, right? Now, I'm a big proponent of saying that we need to defund these cure violence organizations, right? And I'm going to say why, right? Because what's going on with cure violence, right? And I live in a higher crime. I live in the 55th district. The heart of, not the heart, I live in the edge of the 55th, right? I'm in the crime section of 55th. I'm like borderline Brownsville. So going forward, these organizations doesn't do anything to mitigate crime. They really don't. Now, what goes on with the stats? They'll say, oh, well, people complain, and we know who's complaining, but the stats speak for itself. And the stats they talk about are the police crime stats. Now, I knew this for a long time. I used to work security. I used to do stuff with the police a lot. You know, I used to be at a table when I was in the security industry. And what happens is the stats are rigged. The stats are fake. Now, a number of these guys in the commanding, like, let's say you're a commanding officer and you're in a certain precinct, right? You have an ambition to get to the higher level. Let's say you're a commanding officer of the 73rd Precinct. You have an ambition to get to Brooklyn Borough Commander, or Chief of Internal Affairs, or Chief of Department, or Chief of Transit, or Chief of Fleet, or Chief of Joint Terrorism Task Force. I gotta be careful of that word. They might flag my account. I said word terrorism, so they might flag me. I don't know. I don't think they will. They might aggravate me. Said the T word. So what happens is these guys know, and gals know, because they got female commanders know too. I'm not trying to be misogynistic. You got female commanders. What happens is, if they want to get promoted to the higher level, they gotta make their precinct look good. Now that could be at the expense of not reported things that they should be reporting on. This is why when you get robbed, and this happens to a lot of people, you get robbed. That's a felony, right? Or strong armed robbery, right? Or armed robbery. That's a felony. There's a reason why when you might report those to the precincts, they don't want to take those cases. They don't want to take the reports because if the number go up, they look bad in the precinct. They look bad at the white shirts during CompStat. That could be meaning of them not getting promoted, and be meaning them they might lose their spot at the commanding officer. So they have a big duty to make sure they look good. Now, when it comes to shootings and murders and aggravated assaults, because sometimes they'll classify those shootings as aggravated assaults, you know, they have a big thing of trying to make sure these stuff like that don't get added to the stats, because if it happens, they look like goose. So that's what goes on. So that's why I get upset and I get real frustrated when certain CEOs, they get mad at me for bringing stuff up like this. But then they say, well, you know, we told them I put the stats up. The stats show that the crime rates are low because of them. The stat rates are not low because of you guys. The stats are low because you got some selfish commanding officers who only care about their own career, trying to make themselves look good. It's not because of you guys. And the thing about Cure Violence is a majority of them, they're real political, right? They have to be political because they get money from politicians. Now, being political might be meaning they have to go gather petitions, they have to knock on doors, they have to knock people off the ballot, just like one CEO of an organization that's based in East Flatbush who tried to knock out the whole 58 county committee off the ballot in 2022. And then they might have to go and do GOTV for these candidates or the elected officials that give them money. Now, when it comes to that, about politics and nonprofits, especially these pure organizations, is the only way you're going to get government funding is you have to be political. These politicians will not give you government money unless you're political. Unless you get them to office, you're not getting government money. And that's what people don't understand. It's a dirty game with nonprofits and certain elected officials, where if you're a nonprofit and you try to apply and they don't even know, if they don't even recognize that you helped them out get in city council or state assembly, state senate or Congress or any position, they're not gonna give you a call back. If you help them out and you apply, they'll give you a call back. They'll give you the money. Now, when it comes to these Cure Violence organizations, and this I explained to certain people recently, is they are big proponents of defunding the police. Now, you might have some bad cops, right? Just because you have bad cops doesn't mean all cops are bad. There's some good cops out there. All races, all sizes, all genders, all ages, right? Just because there might be bad apples doesn't mean all cops are bad. That's a fact. Now, defund the police, right? This is true about defund the police. Defund the police is nothing but taking money from the police department and funneling that money into nonprofits. Now, the thing is, let's just be English, let's be more simplified. They want to take money out of apolitical organization, apolitical agency, and give it to political NGOs, right? If you're a politician, and politicians not going to say this, but they'll tell you this, I'll tell you, is they will help the people out that benefits them politically, right? That's the point. People in community affairs, people in the offices, if you don't help them out politically, they don't want nothing to do with you. That's the majority of them. Not all of them, majority of them are like that. That's a fact. Now, going forward, that's the thing about the cure violence. They're real political. And they get these guys to office. He got reelected, elected. So there's a big thing to say, okay, let's get money out of the apolitical NYPD and give that money to the political Man Up Incorporated, or the political elite learners, or the political, what's that organization? Kings Against Violent Initiative, or the political Rock Safe Streets, or the political Life Camp Inc., or the political Bragg, Street Corner Resources, Kings Against what was it? Kings of Kings, 100 Suits, CCD, right? Bragg, Light Guns Down Life Up, SBU, Jacoby Hospital. A lot of organizations out here, right? I think I named them all. I think it's a lot of them. But you get what I mean, right? Take the money out of the apolitical and give it to the political. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. It's nothing but a political game that's going on. Now, that's the truth. It's a disgusting process, and it shouldn't be happening. And the reason I say be fun, because none of these guys are, sorry about that, they don't want to really be transparent on what they do with the money. And a lot of people complain about what they're doing with that money. And they have the right to complain. You know why? You know why they have the right to complain? Because they're the taxpayer. The taxpayers are paying for the stuff. They have the right to complain about where the money's going, right? They have every right to complain about where the money's going because they're taxpayers. And the sad thing, like I said about nonprofits, they have to report 10% of the money. 10% of the money. So where the 90% where the other 90% going? Right? That's my question. Where's the 90% going? So that's my pet peeve about cure violence organizations, right? That's my pet peeve, right? And like I said, they're real ineffective. These guys defund them. That's my thing. So, that's basically I gotta say. This week has been a crazy week. It's been a crazy week of general election time, post primary. General election. The certified results. Christopher Bay lost. Sadly lost. But Tony Abella. Tony Abella. The thing about Tony is been doing his dirt for county for decades, and he's a career politician, right? Tony Abella is a career politician, and he will do anything to get another political job. He just care about the paycheck. So he did what he had to do to get a win against Christopher Bay. It's sad that he lost, but it's politics. It's what it is, right? And Christy Montemano, she won her her Republican primary against George Habernack, and I think it's good because, George had an ulterior motive. George had a vindictive motive against Marjorie Velasquez, right? And that's about the Bruckner of zoning. About Bruckner. It's not about her doing up dirt. It's about Bruckner. And he had a vindictive reason of running. He didn't want to run because he wanted to serve. It's all about revenge. And he was a donor to Marjorie, right? So we all know what that's about. That's the truth. So, and then, that's it. That's what's going on. So, I'm about to end off with this, about to tax some people. And like I said, it was a great time Friday. Supported somebody that I respected. Like I said, there's certain people, like I said, if I respect them that much, I will drop everything and go out and help them out. I will throw down for them. And that's only a certain few people that I'll do it for. Other than that, it's just like, well, if I can't do it, then I can't do it, If I could do it, I could do it. But it's certain people, like, they give me that call or give me that text, say, hey, Chris, this is me. Can you come out? And I respect that person enough. I say, yeah, sure, I'll drop everything and come out for you because I respect you that much. And that's only a few people that I do it for, right? So a few people that I do it for. So Got to get back inside, in my house. A little hot out here. Need a little exercise, and that's it. God is great. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful, beautiful evening, beautiful Saturday. So tomorrow will be the 9th. You know, so God is great. So peace out.